Despite a massive boom in India's e-commerce ecosystem, its share in India's total retail ecosystem is still a tiny one in contrast to its massive physical commerce industry. This share further goes down in small towns and rural areas. The bottleneck lies in the current platform-centric structure of the e-commerce value chain, where a buyer and a seller can only transact through the specific platforms they are both listed on. Let's understand this with an example. A buyer needs something, logs on to her favorite app, searches for the item, and finds limited options to buy. She has to juggle between multiple apps to find more options. And there are so many other sellers not available on the apps the buyer uses, and they could potentially have offered her better options in terms of price, quality, and delivery. But alas, she has no way to discover them. On the other hand, a typical seller usually lists themselves on a limited number of apps. Guess what? There are several other apps from which buyers are ordering the same items where he is not registered. This is a massive missed opportunity for the seller. Besides, the seller is also bound by the terms and conditions of the apps he sells from. And needless to say, building their own platforms is not feasible for most sellers given that it's complex and expensive to set up the entire e-commerce value chain. Because of this, millions of buyers and sellers are unable to join the existing e-commerce model. ONDC, or Open Network for Digital Commerce, is a Government of India-backed initiative. It is a network-based open protocol that will transform the e-commerce landscape in India by connecting all the buyers to all the sellers on the network. This happens through an interoperable protocol that allows the unbundling of the e-commerce value chain. This will freely enable a buyer using one app to transact with a seller listed on a different app as long as both apps are on the ONDC network. ONDC is similar to how UPI works for digital payments, where a sender and a receiver can have different banks and can be on different apps, but can still have a transaction. Likewise, on ONDC, the buyer and the seller can be on different apps and can still have a transaction. ONDC is designed to bring the next big revolution to the e-commerce industry. Let's understand how a typical buyer would benefit from ONDC. A buyer can connect with the network through a chat widget, an app, an IVR solution, or a website, basically any type of application, and search for an item. The ONDC gateway checks the multi-domain registry and broadcasts this search to a large number of sellers as per the category of item searched. These sellers can be listed on any app on the network. Search results show the buyer multiple options to choose from. She picks the one she likes the most. She then looks for delivery options. The gateway broadcasts a request with her location details as well as of the seller to all logistics providers that serve at both locations. Search results show her multiple delivery options to pick from. She can choose from sellers who can deliver the products themselves, or she can also choose from other delivery service providers. She picks the best option. She then goes to the checkout page and confirms the details before making the payment through her preferred mode of payment. She completes the transaction, and the money is received by both parties. That was smooth, right? Let's see another example where a buyer needs to order multiple products and services. Raj is moving to Kerala for work and he needs to buy a few suitcases, flight tickets, a course on basic Malayalam, and has to also book a homestay. Without ONDC, he would have to do this with at least 4 different apps. With ONDC, he can log on to any app of his choice and book all of these in a single checkout experience. Let's now see how sellers would benefit from ONDC. With ONDC, sellers get low-cost access to the complete value chain. A seller has to register only once through any app on the network and become accessible to the entire buyer universe through all the applications on the network. Sellers on ONDC can choose what terms and conditions they want to work on. All of these advantages lead to increased profitability for the seller. In today's platform-centric world, the sellers face the risk of getting replaced by the alternatives the platforms have to offer, due to which they lose access to the buyer universe. ONDC, on the other hand, eliminates this risk of replacement. The seller can move to the next seller app and hence not lose visibility to any buyer, in which case all buyers can continue to see you. Sellers can also maintain a network-wide reputation, which means your reputation will stay intact even when you join through a different seller app. With ONDC, sellers would also get rich business enhancement analytics from the seller app to derive actionable insights into their business. As a technology company, you can list yourself as a technology provider on the ONDC network. With that, you instantly become discoverable to a large number of other apps present on the network. Let's understand this with an example. Say you have built an image processing-based catalog creation tool and you list your technology solution with ONDC. Seller apps on the network can leverage your technology to build catalogs for their sellers. A seller just clicks a picture of a product and the item gets automatically identified in multiple languages. He adds the pricing details and repeats this process for other products to instantly create a catalog. As a technology provider, this gives you instant monetization opportunities via different engagement models. Isn't this a powerful way to boost your go-to-market strategy and scale your business in no time? So, how do you become a part of the ONDC network? As an e-commerce player, you can adopt one or multiple roles in the network and leverage the benefits of its growing reach. You can join as a buyer application and get your buyer base to use your application to buy from any seller on the ONDC network. You can join as a seller application and have your merchants and sellers access a large buyer base already present on the network. You can even join as a gateway and broadcast search queries from buyer apps to seller apps in a specific domain or a location. Or you can join as a technology provider and become instantly accessible to a large number of e-commerce players who can use your technology. ONDC is an initiative by DPIIT, Ministry of Commerce, Government of India. The network is being managed by a not-for-profit company backed by institutions of national repute. This initiative is being guided by the Advisory Council made up of stalwarts. ONDC is a truly made-in-India digital revolution and is being driven by an experienced leadership team. For more information about ONDC, log on to our website or reach out to us over email.